You know, this is the second episode in a row that we've like matched outfits. Let's look at your boobs. Sure.
Huh?
Hey, boys. Yeah,
they do look really like.
If you're listening, I'll describe her outfit. She is wearing a see-through mesh top with the cleavage bounding over. Listen to that giggle. I was like waiting for you to stop me. She likes this game.
What a way to kick off an episode. I don't even know what we're talking about today anymore.
Well, I was talking about how we match. Like, we've synced up.
We always are synced up, Jesse.
I know,
even when we worked together, every morning we would somehow match.
It's weird because we don't plan it.
And we don't have the same taste in clothes.
Well, I don't know. You just said we match colors.
Right? We match colors. We always vibe well together. Since the first day we met, we vibed well on all different angles.
Which is funny, you know. Let's get Dr. Phil because we are an odd couple.
Yeah.
People always say that to me, like, you guys don't seem like you'd be friends, but we have just enough in common that makes us great friends.
Right. I feel like on the outside we have nothing in common, but in our dark souls, we have a lot in common.
Welcome, new listeners.
And it's a very dark place that no one else can really go except for Jesse.
And Kris Jenner, she's there too.
I'm crying already.
Did you watch Kim Kardashian's new interview on David Letterman?
Yes. So David Letterman, if you have a chance, go watch them on Netflix. Another one that I really, really enjoyed was Dave Chappelle. But the Kim Kardashian one, I'm so sick of that family.
Come on.
But
okay,
I really enjoyed that interview.
Me too.
I loved the way she dove into the O.J. Simpson and how how it separated her family, basically, even though they were already separated. But you know, it really created a divide in their family.
Yeah.
How her dad let her drive a car when she was 14. Gotta love LA.
But my favorite part of the whole interview was Kris in the audience. Every few minutes they'd show Kris and she was just like glaring at her.
And Kanye with his hoodie and sunglasses and all. Like,
and
I'm
then
not
he got his own episode, which I didn't watch.
His, I will say too, actually wasn't too bad.
Okay.
I think he was a little medicated that day, properly.
Properly.
But the one thing I loved about it is he did talk a lot about his battles with being bipolar and how it feels. And so the thing I loved about those two, especially with someone like Kim and Kanye, is that it made them real for a second. Mm-hmm. It made you actually empathize with them. And then Kim turns around and goes on her 40th birthday party. Goes to honestly, girl, spend your money. I am saying make it rain. I don't care what you do. But to turn around and make this sappy Instagram post about how it's been such a difficult world and this and that. It's like, yo, there's people that have no jobs right now. Yeah. People that haven't seen their loved ones for a very long time. Go ahead, post pictures, but you don't need to pretend that it's so hard during COVID.
It's like you don't need to try to be relatable when you're so unrelatable. Right. Just own it.
It just seemed very tone deaf, even though I don't expect much more from them.
Yeah. Well, even during the interview when she's like, I got a lifetime supply of hair extensions for one post.
Right. And he was like, how much does that post go? And she just kept going up.
And then I don't like to talk about money.
Yeah.
My favorite part, though, was when she described the Paris attack.
I didn't realize how incredibly, because you know how she talks about that moment where she's like, and every woman, and I got goosebumps saying this, but almost every woman has been in a situation where they've had to prepare themselves for something that's really horrible that's going to happen. And when she talked about it, and she goes, I just said, okay, this is the moment. I'm going to get raped. It is going to happen. Prepare yourself on how to cope. Just get through it. And that hit me. And I think every single, especially woman that watched it on a very, very personal level.
And then she seemed very emotional. It was real.
Yeah. And she even said, I don't know why I'm crying. I've talked about this so many times.
It's so deep in there,
But I think it was the interview. It was the way that where she wasn't in this massive studio. It was an intimate audience.
Yeah.
You know, Dave is really good at getting his guests to relax.
So friendly.
And then the Dave Chappelle one was really good because he talked a lot about this small little town in Ohio that he lives in.
Oh, yeah.
And what a cool history it has when it comes to civil rights and stuff, and they've always been this super liberal town in the middle of Ohio, nowhere.
Okay.
And they did the interview in front of the town.
Oh.
And I think he grew up there too. It was just very heartwarming.
I'll check it out.
Very heartwarming.
I've only watched the Kim one. Oh, and I watched Robert Downey Jr. because it auto-played right after, and I was too stoned to change the channel.
I watched the Kim one. I watched the Dave Chappelle one. I watched Kanye.
You know, I don't know how I feel about Dave's beard and his whole aesthetic right now.
Man, he's old.
Yeah, I guess.
Let him do what he wants.
Let him do what he wants.
He's covering those wrinkles with hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's as loved as Santa anyways. Might as well look like him too.
It's true.
Mhm.
The eyes are a little red. I did like when he was talking about how drunk he was growing up, like how he was always belligerent. Made me feel a bit better about, well, us. Hi! Happy Halloween tomorrow if you're listening to this when it comes out on Friday. Tonight is called Mischief Night. I had to think about that for a sec.
Oh yeah, because
And
this is your time of year.
Gay Christmas, baby.
Yeah, I just haven't felt it that much this year,
know.
but it's hard to get into it. I should have decorated my apartment. We should have done it one night and like live streamed it or some shit. I don't know. I said it's made it sound so fun.
Yeah, you really sold that. The most exciting thing I'm doing is watching Bette Midler's special with my mom on Zoom.
Sorry, you're watching Bette Midler's special? Oh, that's amazing.
$10 if you want to come.
Okay, $10
I
to
know.
watch Bette Midler.
The gays understand.
I learned something, another way to make money.
Oh, okay, I'm listening.
Apparently, there's a dating app or a dating site where you stream. And people like pay. It's not OnlyFans.
Oh, I was gonna say that exists.
No,
Jenna.
what it's called? It's called Bigo. I texted it to
Bigo? B-I-G-O?
Yes.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yes, and apparently, like, you just do a stream and you could do whatever you want. Like, I know a guy and he plays piano, and people will give you money. And like, I guess it's a dating app. Like, they can. I don't know the dating part of it, but I was like, what would I do? Because I can't play an instrument. So what would I do? And he was like, you're pretty enough. You could just sit in front of it and people would give you money. And it made me think of you, which is why I texted you.
Oh, that I could do that?
Yeah.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to
What
me.
if we both just sat here and looked pretty?
Yeah, we could. We should try. What have we got to lose?
Right?
Somebody was texting me that some big
Who
star
cares
on
about
LinkedIn.
dignity?
Yeah. Well, I mean, hello. Have you
Lost
listened to
that
this
a long
shit?
time
Yeah,
ago.
Are you kidding me? Yeah. Interesting. Another, you just made me think of a show on Netflix. Maybe you watched it called, what's it called? Cam Girls or something about cam girls.
Are you sure that one was on Netflix?
Yes, I'm telling you. And it's fascinating about, well, cam girls. And it goes into the girls that want to get into the business. And it kind of glamorized it and made me be like, maybe this wouldn't be so bad, OnlyFans.
Well, you know what? I could do a cam girl thing if it was just like my feet.
Well, this girl, it was spanking feet, eating
What is
things.
a chick shoves her face into loaves of bread?
So, like, we would do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She doesn't even eat the bread. She just literally takes the bread and shoves it in her face and gets paid lots of money to do it.
What do you think that is, guys that get off on just
I don't know, but that would be really fun just every morning. Like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I smash my face into bread.
Yeah. As Jenna said that, she fixed her bra, perked her tits up. We are ready, I think, for OnlyFans.
Just bounced my boobs.
Subscribe on YouTube and you were starting.
And it's free right now.
For now, yeah, might not always be that way. Here, I'll bounce my oh no, I can't. Shirt's not tight enough. I almost can do that pec flex thing.
I didn't do the pec flex. I just jiggled.
I know you did. I'm right here. Okay, speaking of sexy, let's get to our first story. What do you think the sexiest Halloween costume is?
This year or of all time?
Well, it's more like, well, they gave both, but like, I'm
Nurse.
talking more type of costume.
Slutty. Like
Yeah.
you can literally, you turn anything into a slutty version of it.
Just lingerie and animal ears of any kind.
Right.
Well,
I switched out the slutty for instead my go-to was in university too. Not
What?
literally, but it was being a walk of shame.
How'd you do that?
So I wore like a boy's pair of boxers. I wore a dress shirt with like lipstick on the collar.
Oh, cute.
Kind of unbuttoned, wrinkled. I had like one earring, my hair kind of messy, mascara run.
That's really clever because then when you're actually doing the walk of shame, everyone just thinks it's your costume.
I wish I was that naughty.
Oh, please. You had a uniform like Britney. I know how naughty you are.
God, what is with men? Even gay men have a thing for
Well, it's because of
girls'
Britney.
private school uniforms.
It's either because they love Britney or we wish we had one.
Right. Britney's was yellow and maroon?
No, it was gray and white and red pinstripes.
No, maroon. It was maroon.
Oh, was it
for
maroon
sure? Yeah.
pinstripes? Oh, yeah, the blazers.
So
remember.
I did have a similar kilt to her then.
Yeah, you did.
Ugh, God, I wish.
See?
Even if I could find it, there's no effing way I would have fit in it. That was $19.99.
Maybe you could wear it as like a garter.
Just like a
choker.
Yeah.
A dickie.
I'm starting a new style, folks. It's a new trend.
Well, according to dating.com, never heard of it, almost 3/4 of people say funny costumes are the most sexually attractive.
Oh, I thought you meant like that I was more attractive. I thought you just meant in general it's the sexiest.
Well, that's what I meant.
When a guy
Okay.
I agree. I think when it comes to men,
Funny.
yeah, and I think men are so taken aback because girls always do the slutty thing. So when a woman does show up in like a smart
Yes.
costume, but you can get too smart with them.
Where they're hard to figure out.
Yeah, we had this really brilliant girl that used to work with us. She was a copywriter. She's just amazing, Courtney.
Yeah.
And she came to my Halloween party I had, this was before I knew you.
Better.
And she had like a cloud, and I can't remember what she was, but it was one of those that you kind of had to like, oh, now I get it, and sound it out. Hers I got, but Alexa's husband's was like way up above everyone's.
What was
something it? Staunchy pilot. I don't know what it was.
Something only straight guys would understand.
Yeah, but I appreciate the effort, you know?
I saw a great one this year. It was a clit, like a woman's clit, but it was, you know, Pennywise. It was his head with a big vagina around your body. So you're a clit. Do you get it? Like,
yes, I get it. It's just funny because most men don't know where those are.
Hey-oh! Ba-doom.
Nor do they might even know what they look like.
Yeah, well, I'm one of them, so.
Right? Just go watch Big Mouth.
Yeah. But I think funny costumes are the same thing as like when a woman like can pound a whole plate of wings or something and it impresses a man. That's the same sort of vibe. Like, ooh.
When you eat your wings, how much meat do you leave on the bone?
Oh, very little.
I literally scrape mine dry.
Yeah, I don't like the cartilage pieces,
I eat the cartilage.
You eat that. I think that's cool. Funny costumes. Way to go. It's a good show your personality. Be yourself.
I wonder what straight guys like though when it comes to women in costumes.
This was for both dating.com, heterosexual.
Oh, so both of them like funny costumes.
That's what it says.
I saw the most amazing costume. A friend of mine did it, and I saw it on Facebook, and she was dressed up as Myra Rose, but from the Crows movie.
Oh! I just watched that episode.
With the shirt, the white shirt on, where she's like this, all this.
Yeah.
It was brilliant, very simple, but amazing.
Oh, that is amazing. Okay, so more than half of people surveyed said political costumes are the least attractive, even if they're funny. I would agree.
Because it just creates like tension. It's like you're asking for people to be like, you know?
Or start conversations
about. Let's just keep it fun and gory.
Now, I think if you were Trump, there's a lot of places you could go with that, you know? But that's been done like 4 years ago. Yeah.
Trump was being done before he was even president of the U.S. Yeah. You know? You're fired. We're done. It's over.
He's got the biggest mask I've ever seen. That's my favorite line of his that they keep playing.
Yeah. But, you know, like I would veer away from that. I also would, never mind. We're not going to.
Oh, come on. I just talked what I call my dick pics on my phone last episode.
I was talking to my friend and she's like brown. And she was like, this year I would have dressed up as Justin Trudeau, but in blackface.
Ooh, that's risky. Well, he was in the Borat movie.
But you know what I mean? Like, and I laughed so hard because I was like, because she's like, I wouldn't paint my skin or anything. Like, I am brown.
So
but
she'd
like,
just be a genie or
whatever. Yeah.
That's funny. And then if you're around any sensitive people, you can say, oh, what's the problem? I'm just a genie.
Yeah, I'm Aladdin.
Yeah, Aladdin, that's what he was. Yeah. This survey also found 1 in 5 single people use a picture of themselves in their costume as a dating profile picture.
Never.
No. I've never done that either.
I don't even think I have a picture of me in costume. The last time I really went balls to the wall was that year that I had the big party and I dressed up as Day of the Dead. Oh. I made my whole head piece from like with my own hands.
Wow.
Not with someone else's, my own hands. I did, and it had like all these red flowers with spiders coming out. I'll show you it one day. I still kept it. But my friend had just passed away before. Oh. So that kind of took the wind out of Halloween for me for a while. But it's been like 4 years now. So maybe it's time to like move forward. Well, and it's not like he passed away on Halloween, but you know, it's just that general time of year.
You feel it, the smells.
You feel it. You feel, you know, the weather's changing. Yeah. We're locked down. I know. Sorry. That's sad. I don't know.
Well, that is what Halloween's for. And in Mexico, it's a big celebration because they don't believe they're dead or gone, right? That's why they dig them up every 5 years.
Right.
Weird. All right. I got to take a step. Hang on. Next headline. A guy steals $1,000 in items from Walmart by hiding a Kool-Aid packet in his hand. Does that make sense to you? I'll give you a minute. Figure it out. How do you think? I figured it out right away. So easy. And genius. But not really because he got caught.
Wait, he stole $1,000 worth of items with only a Kool-Aid pack in his hand?
Well, he had the items also.
But I'm sorry, but like Walmart, I know it's your place. I know it's your jam.
It is.
And I don't mean to insult anyone who shops at Walmart, but there's a reason you shop there because items are cheap.
That's
so to
right.
leave with $1,000 worth of items from Walmart,
I know.
like it's not like you're walking out with a big screen TV or an electronic.
Yeah. It is cheap.
So how are you going to walk out with $1,000 worth of stuff without being seen?
I'll tell you. I'm so glad you asked.
Why, thank you, Jesse.
This guy hid a packet of Kool-Aid in his hand, so he pretended he was scanning big items at the self-checkout, and every time, boop, scanned the Kool-Aid pack.
I've never heard of anyone doing anything similar to that at all. Ever.
Isn't that genius? So it made all of his purchases.
You're telling me you've never done that?
I've never done that. I've straight up like just stolen something at the self-checkout, but I've never like I've never tried to scan a different price.
Well, do they still go? Because I haven't done anything like that since I was in like college. But do they still?
Bitch,
like,
they didn't have self-checkouts
in Alabama. They did.
Oh, of course.
We had one place to get your groceries, to get your food, your groceries, everything.
CVS,
and that was Super Walmart, not just Walmart. Super Walmart.
Oh God, the States was so ahead of their time.
I know. But before, like, you couldn't put anything in the bag without it going ding, 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 because the weight would change.
Yeah.
Did they change that though?
No. Well, see, now I'm really gonna have to out myself. The one time I tried,
wouldn't be your first time out.
I was buying like multiple chocolate bars, so I put in like the quantity 3 when there was 4, and the weight thing did happen. But then when it goes boop boop and you call the rep over, I was like, I don't know. Look, you could see I scanned the chocolate, and they don't care. They were like, oh yeah, you did.
They don't give a shit about a chocolate bar.
Yeah, so that's what I took. But
they're also like, I don't get paid enough to care. It's a fucking pandemic. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Oh, we're such good role models. Someone put us back on the radio for your children to listen to. So this
we're
guy,
almost like Jekyll and Hyde when it comes to that though. Like on the radio, we were quite mommy filtered.
We could clean it up.
We did clean it up. We did it a lot more than some of the shit I hear today on radio.
Oh yeah.
So.
All right. So everything.
But we can't talk about oral though. I love oral.
I couldn't even say the word junk without getting called into the office. Okay, so don't even start. So this made everything ring up for this guy at 24 cents. So his total was under $25 with $1,000 worth of items.
But what items were they? Again, if you look and you're like $25, there's a difference when you spend a $25 versus $1,000 when you're walking out.
I don't know. It unfortunately doesn't list what he took, but it must have been stuff like AirPods, $379.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get those unless they take them out.
I don't know what it was. I don't know.
And they usually bring them in that little cashier area in the back. Don't they have it?
If it's super electronics,
yeah. I don't know.
I know chocolate almonds add up, but $1,000?
I want to know. I think this story depends on the list of what you stole.
Well, here's how he got caught. I can tell you that. A security guard spotted him.
Vitamins?
And maybe supplements, like that, bringing at $60 a bottle.
I think $1,000.
Yeah, that would be.
Oh, I was like, protein's like $40.
No, you're right. 20 like bottles that are $60 would do it.
20 bottles of protein on the wall.
Yeah. So this guy, he wouldn't have been caught except for the fact that a security guard recognized him because he's stolen from this Walmart before. So they knew he was to keep a close eye on what he was up to. But if it was like you or me, somebody out there, try this. It's going to be me. You know that.
I was doing it for my podcast. I was experimenting.
So they caught him, and he was arrested as he was leaving the store. Here's his mugshot. I hope it comes up.
Like, before I even look at him.
Oh, he's hot. Oh, my God. I didn't look at this before.
Before I even look at him, I got to say that to go back and rob the same store, like, multiple times is not fucking that smart.
Yeah, but it's also a testament to Walmart how many times he got away with it, that he was that confident.
Right. Okay, let's see him.
Come on. Am I that horny in quarantine? Look, he looks built like he's got a good bod.
It's really weird. He looks like a mix of two of my friends. The one that we were just talking about that passed away.
Oh.
And my other friend, Ben.
Maybe he faked his own death and he went stealing at Walmart.
Right? Wouldn't be my first friend that faked his own death.
She's got a story for. I think I would let him take me on a date.
God, he looks like Dane. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
and you
so
just
weird.
mentioned him.
And is around the same time that he passed away, too.
Happy Halloween. Or what's the
Is it my turn now?
Yes, it's your turn. Have you watched the new Unsolved Mysteries yet, by the way?
Yes, you know what? I didn't watch it carefully enough, so I want to go back and rewatch it again.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as the first season.
Okay, where did I put my? So what do we want to start with first? Because one's a quick one. You know what? We'll save that one for last. I really want to go over this because I know someone out there empathizes with me or feels the way I do. Have you ever been the person that never is the one to get married? Like, as in, you're the one, like, so for example, I have a joke where I say, I am your last pit stop before you get married. Because multiple exes of mine, the next person they date, they married.
I forgot you always say that line.
So there was...
Look at your name with them. Well, might as well say their names.
Is there any more? I'm trying to think if there was any more.
She's at 7 for net right now.
Right? So I was thinking, like, maybe I'm just this girl or woman that no man wants to marry. They just want to be in a relationship with, and then, like, they just can't picture me in the future, maybe. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's I'm too laid back. Anyways, I've ran all these things through my head. But so wait, I was so happy to find this the other day.
Let me weigh in 2 things. Maybe it's because you spend too much time with your gay best friend. That's a thing. And the second thing is, I love that you say that line. You haven't said that in years. Say it again.
Gotta risk it to get the biscuit?
No. The last girl before marriage, because Joan Rivers, my idol, God rest her soul, has a book called Last Girl Before the Freeway. And every time you said that, I was like, oh my God.
I'm the pit stop before you go into your committed, loving relationship for the rest of your life. And I'm just left by myself.
I think it's because
that came from a very sad.
No, but you and I feel I'd lump myself into this category as we are unique personalities, and it takes a certain type of man to handle all this. You know, you're not a basic bitch. And so
yeah, but you know, what was I watching? Who was it that said she's a host on one of those daytime talk shows. She's Asian. She goes, I'm Jenny Mai, I think, or something. Her last name's Mai, I think, M-A-I.
Okay.
Anyway, she's talking about her husband. She says, I'm submissive to my husband.
Ooh.
And I said, like, a lot of women are like, whoa. Let's not, like, erase 50 years of history here. And she goes, no. She goes, let me explain. And I completely related. And she goes, in my everyday life, I'm a businesswoman. I work hard. I boss. But when I get home, like, I want to be submissive. I don't want to be that business leader and that boss. I want to be a wife, and I want to, you know, it makes me feel happy to in turn do those wifely things, like, you know. And I was like, that's you're right.
Yeah.
You know, just because you're one way in your everyday life doesn't mean you're going to be like that in a relationship.
And sometimes it switches, because I've heard of women being unhappy with a relationship starting that way, and then the man all of a sudden when they have kids is like, go ask your mother. And you know, lazy dad. My dad was like that. And it's like, well, what happened? You used to be the man of the house. Now it's ask your mother. Sometimes a woman wants just to chill and be like, you make a fucking decision.
So I found this article, and it actually breaks it down. So this is going to be a little longer. So you know what? I might not even do my other story because it's not even that fun.
So she said she found an article. Really, she took notes from a self-help book she's reading. Did I get it?
No. It was an article, but it was one of those like Uber fact articles or whatever, where you had to like click through slides.
Okay.
But they backed almost every single one up. Every single one was so relatable, understandable, and they backed it up with surveys and stuff.
And what is it about again?
So it's 7 reasons why women... What? 7 reasons why the women men date aren't the ones they marry.
Okay.
And they had like pictures of, remember Prince Harry before Meghan Markle? He was with that other blonde girl, whatever her name was, for 5-6 years. Why didn't he marry her? He was with Meghan for 1 and then got married. Like, you know, like, it's crazy. You always wonder that. I was with my ex in university for like 5 years. And then he left me and got together with a woman he had just met for like the past 5 months.
Well, I was with my ex for 14, so I'm ready. Where's my ring, bitch? But you know what? I wonder if some of that's to do with age, because men and women get to a certain age.
Well, I'm going to tell you the reasons right now.
Okay, I can't wait.
Number 1 is that it's not that you weren't the right one. It's just that it wasn't the right time. So someone went on social media on Twitter and posted this opinion that men get married not when they meet the love of their life, but when they're ready to start a family. So this Twitter user that posted it was really interested in this theory, asked the men to comment on it. And almost unanimously, men admitted that they had a relationship they regretted ending, but it didn't stop them from getting married when they had a fitting woman to become their wife. Scientists say that the best age for starting a family, too, is from 28 to 32. Yep. After this time, the chances that a man will get married will drop, And after the age of 42, it's like a 0 chance you're going to get married. So I have to get married soon or else I'm never going to get married.
Or then it's like you're senior married. You're like,
No.
oh, now I just want a
But if you
companion.
think back on well, it's hard for you to do that because you haven't had lots of relationships. But if you're listening right now, think back to a lot of your relationships. Like if you went and maybe did it now, it might have had a different outcome than ending.
Yeah, maybe.
Right. So that makes sense. It's just, it's not that you weren't a good match. It's that you just weren't good at that moment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, listen, a relationship that lasts 5 years or 14 years, obviously we did something right at some point.
Right. Also, another reason why the women men date aren't the ones they marry is because there's no way to build a family just based on physical attraction.
Well, that's true.
If you wanted to build a family with everyone you wanted to just sleep with, I'm pretty sure like it would be the worst family combination ever.
But what I just heard is you're too basic, bitch, because you might be hot, but he doesn't want to marry you because
your personality sucks, or you just don't have great traits, or what it could be that you're an amazing person, he's an amazing person, but he wants to raise his child one way and you want to raise it another. Like, just, you can't be a family. It doesn't mean you can't be attracted to each other. It's just when it comes to realistically looking at it, it may not be a great match at the end of the day. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I want to ask you a personal question, but I don't know if it's too personal because I didn't clear it with you off air, but I'm going to ask it, which is, when little girls grow up, they always think, oh, I'm going to get married, have 100 kids, maybe, 1 or 2. As you get older and we're still dating and now we're, 31, does that shift at all? And you think, okay, maybe I won't have kids and that's okay. Or do you?
I'm not there yet.
Okay. That you have shifted it.
I'm not completely shifted yet.
Because you're still young enough. Yeah. You still got 10 years.
Exactly. But I've also always said that, do I want a family? Yes. If it doesn't happen, am I going to beat myself up over it and hate myself for it? No. It just meant that it wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
I kind of just have to literally put it into fate's hand. Because if I go out and start forcing it and try to force meet someone, and then then my intentions aren't right. My intentions are to get impregnated by you. My intentions aren't because I actually want to get to know you first and then see if I can have a family with you.
Yeah, but when you leave it to fate too much, you told me this, which is, I said, no, none of these guys are giving me that crush feeling or the butterflies that I want from when I first fell in love. And you said, at this age, those butterflies are dead, honey.
Yeah.
They've been in your stomach too long.
Although I have to kind of rewind on that a little bit.
Oh.
They're still alive in there, I think.
You got something to tell me after. Okay. All right.
Another reason that he just didn't marry you after a long time dating is because the opinion of his friends and parents can affect his decision. I think that's what came down to my college boyfriend too, although I'm so glad we never got married.
Well, this is the one you caught cheating and trashed his apartment,
I know,
is it?
Multiple times.
Oh, it was him?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I do think family and friends had a lot to do with it. And it's true. Indian matchmaker, she says it's not the uniting of two people, it's the uniting of two families.
Yeah.
If the families can't get along, this relationship won't work. I would never want to be in a relationship with someone that didn't get along with my family.
Yeah, I think for me, if I found out their family was homophobic, it would be a deal breaker.
Exactly. Number 4 is men are sure that women are totally satisfied. Do you want me to say that again?
Yes.
Men are sure that women are always satisfied. So hear me out. Psychologists claim that couples that have few conflicts in the very beginning don't have a future. So people shouldn't be afraid of expressing their opinions. The women that prefer to be silent about their wishes never actually get the wedding ring. 73% of future wives admit that they pressed their significant others and insisted on getting married instead of just waiting for their boyfriend to propose to them on their own. This was where I think I run into my big issue is I am very laid back. I do not want to have a conflict unless there's an actual legitimate reason to have a conflict.
This is reminding me of the Halloween costume thing again, or the woman that eats a whole plate of wings. Men like girls that say what the hell they want.
Right.
And if you got a problem, say it.
And I think when you're younger, that's a little bit harder because when you're in your 20s, if you're ready for a family, it doesn't necessarily mean someone else in their 20s is. And that might scare them off. So as women, we kind of hold that back and don't say that that's what we want. But as you get older and the time starts ticking, then you're like, okay, this is what I want. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
You know, dating is so hard because I just thought of something. Sometimes on Grindr, it's largely a hookup app, but occasionally you run into a guy that's like looking for a relationship. And to me, that's sort of a red flag, like, you, who puts that out there right away, even though I wouldn't mind a boyfriend. But so sometimes it can backfire. Like, here are these poor guys putting it out there, and then some jerk like me is like, oh, you're saying you want a relationship?
Right.
No. So I don't know. There's got to be a happy balance.
Exactly.
It's hard.
Also, living together decreases the chances of getting married. And our generation was definitely brought up on, you live together, you test, drive it, COVID.
Yeah.
Before you.
It's not. We've been tested.
You take it for a test drive before. No, that anal swab was not
oh,
a
shit.
COVID test.
Did I do it wrong? Damn it.
You know, because that's what we like. Our parents, they didn't really move in together right away.
No.
If they did, it was very secretive or
because she got pregnant.
But now, yeah.
But
now these days, like it's almost the norm.
Yeah.
You live together for years sometimes before you get married. So psychologists warn women that they should be very careful about this idea because most men make a proposal 22 months after after the beginning of the relationship. And after this period, the chances decrease by 20%. And 3 years later, this number is only 50%. And after 7 years, it's 0% chance of getting married.
Really?
They said it's because
well, what's the point?
If you move in, you're basically just giving him.
She just hit the mic and went flying. Okay.
You're giving him so a lot of the time they say that a man will propose to solidify the relationship. But if you've already moved in, that relationship's already solidified, so they don't feel the necessity to make it official.
Yeah.
And think about that. A lot of the pressure does come from the woman to make it official more so than the man. In their mind, and this is my dad. My parents have been together since they were 21 years old, so 44 years. And they have not ever been married.
Haha, Jenna's a bastard.
I am. I remember kids making fun of me in elementary school about that. Thanks.
But now you're not the only one out there because I think there's a lot of couples.
Right. But yeah, and so it makes sense because he was like, what? It's just a piece of paper. It's exact words.
Yeah.
Why am I going to spend a bunch of thousands of dollars for other people to party on my bill?
Well, there's a reason your dad's got money. It's
I
not
guess.
because he gives it away.
Right.
So,
Thank God, because if he did, who knows where we would be.
And especially because now that in Ontario, at least, your common law is 6 months. 6 months.
Your common law, I thought, way less than that.
Is it less now?
I thought it was 3 months.
Oh, maybe it is.
But you have to be on each other's taxes and shit, though, don't you?
Well, maybe that's the difference. You can file taxes together at 3 months, but if you live together, because I remember when I broke up with my boyfriend, I wanted that couch, and I thought about fighting him for it.
Right.
But I just got my own, which is not as nice.
Another reason that men just didn't marry you after dating you for so long is because a woman is convenient for this period of time, but not for the future. That's kind of like timing.
Yeah.
But it says a convenient woman a woman who doesn't require much and that will always meet him halfway is not enough for his life. It doesn't challenge him. It doesn't encourage him to be better. So if you're just complacent all the time, which is a lot of my deal, it's, letting a guy be a guy. No, you have to still bug them, still maybe not nag them, but, get on their case, encourage them to work out, tell them when they're looking good after they work out.
But and you're right. How many times have you seen in the movies where a woman's a total bitch and she walks out of the room and the guy's like, oh, I like her.
Right.
Like men like a bit of that.
I guess. I just feel like I'm too old for that.
To be a bitch.
Yeah. And I feel like
you can't help it.
If we're going to fight, I wanted that to be a legitimate argument. I don't want to waste argument and that negative energy on things that putting the toilet seat down, although I want to fucking kill you every time you come over to my house and leave the toilet seat up. The worst was I had 2 gays at my house last weekend, you and our other friend.
So you were outnumbered.
None of you ever put the toilet seat down.
Majority rules. I don't know if it means using the negative energy, but just stuff like if he puts ketchup on his craft dinner, give him a hard time about that. Be like, what the fuck are you doing? Don't just act like it's all cool.
Yeah. Even though I'm an aggressive person at times, I am very non-confrontational.
Yeah.
Right?
She'll just stab you in your back.
That's why you're still friends with me, hey?
Well, not me.
I tried to get rid of you.
Yeah, right.
And the last one is not all relationships are supposed to end with a wedding.
Yeah, I agree.
It's kind of what you were talking about earlier with the stereotype that women grow up with. And it says girls grow up with the stereotype that if a relationship is long, it can only have one end, and that's forming a family and getting married. men rarely have the same stereotype. They don't think that way. So it's just this huge misunderstanding between sexes.
Huh. All right.
And there you have it. So I've got a lot of self-improvement to do.
I guess.
I basically read that whole list to you so that I had it in my notes so I can refer to it next time I happen to like talk to a man, you know?
Okay, you have another story, but we're going to finish with it because it's a good one. I think I know what it is.
Yeah, it's not that good though.
Oh,
it's
okay,
only
do it
the
now.
headline. The headline's the only good part.
Do it now.
And I'm sure a lot of people saw it because it was up.
The headline's what got me all excited.
It's not as exciting, so we'll just rip through it quickly. German police shut down 600-person fetish party due to COVID-19 regulations. Woo! So this went down in Berlin, and you know that Germany is like full of freaks, right?
Red light district.
Oh
baby.
yeah, no, that's Amsterdam.
Is that a different? I thought that was in Germany. No. Is Amsterdam its own country?
Netherlands.
It's in Holland. Oh right, of course I should know. Tulip Festival.
Okay, we'll just keep rolling forward.
Yep. I've never left Ottawa. Okay.
So they broke up what they described, police, as a fetish party made up of more than 600 people for violating the COVID restrictions. Although the gathering, it was outside. So this was a 600-person gathering outside. Police said that the venue that they were at was too small for people to be like properly physically distancing. Germany's rates are a little bit on the rise now, but they've been pretty decent so far. So,
and it's important to note it was a fetish party, not an orgy.
Right. They say here, here's what happened. The venue is firing back at the cops on Facebook and is being like, hey, an open air event took place in a courtyard. It was 3,500 square meters big, this courtyard. So it's massive. They go, we were well within the regulations. Oh. And not only are they upset about that, but they're also mad at cops for calling it a fetish party in the first place. Because they said this event, the event served as a meeting point for the community. We find it reprehensible to declare this a fetish party. Well, so it wasn't even a fucking fetish party. It was probably like just a bunch of community people coming together, you know, like wanting to get to know. Even so, a community, regardless of what it is a community.
Okay, but they've had to get the fetish from was at least one guy in a puppy mask?
Maybe because
something?
Everyone was obliging, was following rules.
In a mask.
And was wearing masks.
Well, if it was a fetish party, that was the first time cops ever arrested a group of people willingly wearing handcuffs already. That's all I know.
Right? So that's why I was disappointed in that story.
Yeah, they set it up just to knock it down at the end. All right. Well, how's this, since we're working on our dating lives? Dim romantic lighting.
Are we always working on our dating lives?
For now.
Because we're just really bad at it.
One of these days, we're going to come on here and be like, guess what? I'm seeing someone.
I'm getting married.
And it's to each other. Cheers.
You can't afford a rock big enough for me, honey.
Not yet. Again, someone put us on TV. Notice how I didn't say back on the radio that time? TV's got more money. So dim romantic lighting can make food taste shitty. This is also very short.
Really? Because like every high-end restaurant has dim candlelit lighting.
Well, you know, this study from the Netherlands, by bulbs.ca, they found that romantic lighting can actually make food taste worse. Quote, guests in the bright lit conditions rated overall taste as more intense as opposed to the guests in the dim lighting. Oh, did you need that quote? Because I really already said that 3 times. The researchers say it's because food is really a multi-sensory experience, so it helps you enjoy your food if you can see it, smell it, taste it, and sometimes even touch it.
Have you seen that thing called Eating in the Dark?
No.
There's restaurants and I don't know where, but where you do your whole meal in the pitch black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you have to like feel around and pick your food up and eat it.
See, remember when ketchup came out with green and purple in like the 90s?
Mind over matter, man. Apparently it was the same, but no.
Exactly. The look of it made it totally different, but the flavor was the same. And me and my friends would do the Pepsi Coke challenge with it, and I could not tell the difference. But seeing purple ketchup on your fries,
always do the Pepsi Coke challenge.
Oh, that one's easy. Pepsi's fizzier and Coke's sweeter.
Coke's sweeter, but if it's Diet Pepsi and Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi's sweeter.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is it still fizzier? That was the big thing for me. I always found Pepsi was fizzier.
I think any diet soda actually is legitimately super fizzy because I was reading another one of those Uber facts the other day because I have so much time on my hands apparently. And it was about things flight attendants want you to know. And one is like, stop ordering Diet Coke. It's the hardest drink to pour on a plane because it's so twice as fizzy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Frig. Wow.
That was kind of a boring story, though.
Yeah, it was. Okay, I'll finish with this one, which is also kind of
Oh,
boring.
you have one more? Because
our wine's empty. Okay, this one's really, really quick. COVID dating terms. There's some new terms. You know, we've had to learn.
Fuck me.
That's just Jenna's. We've had to learn ghosting, catfishing, you know, over the years. We've been doing these lists since we started together.
Oh my God, 3-4 years ago.
I think that one of the first ones was cuffing season, and now that's
cuffing season.
That's right. Hey, boys. So now the pandemic.
Cuff me.
In more ways than one. So the COVID pandemic
What's wrong with us?
has given birth to some new dating here. COVID worthy. First one on the list. A quality potential match.
That's a term? COVID worthy?
COVID worthy. So like remember from Seinfeld, sponge worthy? Is he worth using a sponge on?
Right. I was like, is he worth getting COVID for? Oh!
Is he worth risking an in-person date? COVID worthy. Next one, sexually distancing, when you heroically pause your sex life so you don't spread corona.
Heroically. So heroic.
We're freaking
I'm
heroes.
a fucking hero.
Oh, here's one that's real hard to figure out. Virtual date.
Fuck that shit.
Keep going. Quarantine and chill, when you hunker down with a romantic prospect, partly out of boredom, partly out of horniness. These are stupid. Last one. Antibody boy, antibody girl.
What about antibody them?
Oh, obviously this is an American study, because in Canada we're way more progressive. This is a term. Hopefully, keep it moving. This is a term people are putting to their dating apps, hoping it leads to more matches. So basically saying they've had COVID and recovered, so now they have antibodies.
Yeah, but you do realize that people have gotten it twice.
Exactly. So this whole list was a waste of time.
Fucking world is filled with stupid people.
I know, but let's just,
Let's just be happy that there's enough of them. Oh, God.
And we solicit dates on this podcast.
I still haven't gotten one from the podcast, though.
Neither have I, actually.
So maybe anyways. All right, cheers.
Let's go shop for those rings. Cheers.
Cheers. You better start saving your pennies now because, I do want a big rock.
Me too.